Hey guys, so I really want to try to start doing maybe weekly tips and tricks videos. I've been doing a lot more virtual online sessions with people, and I'm learning that a lot of folks don't really know how powerful Photoshop really is. And I know that it's intimidating. I know that there's all these magical keyboard shortcuts that freak everyone out. But today, I'm going to start with something really, really simple. Um, I'm sure a lot of you are shooting night photographs and finding that you've got a lot of hot pixels. We're getting into the summer months. In Phoenix here, it's already pushing over 95 degrees. And as the summer progresses and days get hotter and nights get warmer, you'll probably see as your exposures get longer, you will get more hot pixels. And I've zoomed in here to an exposure I have in my Lightroom catalog, and you can just see this massive hot pixel here. And some cameras are worse than others. My old Nikon D810 was covered in these, and it was a nightmare trying to figure out how to get rid of these. And I'm shooting with Sony now, A7R3 and the A7R4, although noisy at higher ISOs, I don't get as many hot pixels. And this technique also applies to dead pixels. It's basically for anything that looks like this, whether it's dead, whether it's hot. Dead pixels will not move frame to frame, whereas hot pixels typically will move or can move. But yeah, I'm going to show you a real quick trick I have in Photoshop for dealing with hot pixels. So I'm just going to right click, edit in Adobe Photoshop. Okay. This was a shot that I was taking for these beautiful glowy stars. Um, but what I want to focus on most is zooming in really close so that you can see some of these hot pixels. You can see I've got one here, 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 here. Let's zoom in really far so you can see these. Even ones that are colored like this, or ones that are not as colorful. They look more like white hot pixels. They come in red, they come in green, they come in blue, they come in combinations of colors. So all I'm going to do here is duplicate my base layer. You can either use Command or Control J or simply drag this down. Boom, boom. Now let's just hit Command J. And I'm going to go up here to Filter, Camera Raw Filter. And I'm just going to go up here to Filter, Noise, Dust, and Scratches. So what you're going to see immediately is once you default these back to just as low as they can go, unfortunately, even at 1 pixel radius, which is as low as you can go, you can still see it's having some sort of effect. But it kind of just looks like it's blurring all the details. We don't necessarily want that. We want to preserve those details, and that's what this threshold slider is. So the first thing you're going to do is just incrementally ramp this up. I like to use the arrow keys on the keyboard just to have a little bit more control. And I just like to keep going up and up and up and up with this until you see those pixels completely disappear. I'm going to assume because I have this off, we're not seeing an accurate representation of what's actually happening to this. And now we've gone too far. So we can just back this up. Basically, you just want to go until you see those brighter pixels disappear. Sometimes it's 1, sometimes it's 2, sometimes it's 3. You want to look at your brightest, most distracting hot pixel. And you can see that right here in the middle of the frame, we just got a little bit of lightness coming back. If I go down to 2, give it a second to render, you can see it appears a little bit brighter. So we're going to go back up to 3 and maybe even 4. I want that to completely disappear and just merge with all of the colors that are around it. And now that we're sort of got that hidden, we're going to go to threshold and we're going to raise this until we just see that hot pixel kind of reappear, and then we'll just back it off. There is no magical number for this. It's different with every image. It's different with every pixel. So just goof around and play with it. You'll see that you've got some details coming back, albeit noisy. Noise is something different than these hot pixels. It's different than chromatic aberration. So we need to kind of tackle these things individually. Okay, threshold increasing, increasing. Just keep your eye right here where that green pixel would be. I'm just starting to see a little bit of green pixels reappear. Increase it again. Each time we increase the threshold, we see a little bit more detail come back. And as soon as we start seeing the brightness of that hot pixel, that really distracting brightness, that's when we're going to back off. This little bit of color, this green, it's not going to be as distracting as a bright white or yellow or green or pink or magenta or blue hot pixel. So you can live with a little bit of that. And some of that will go away with a chromatic aberration adjustment. Some of that will go away with a luminance, noise reduction adjustment. But I think we can go maybe 1 or 2 increments higher on the threshold. If we go to 20, maybe 21, 22, 23. All right, I think that's about as far as I'm going to go, and I'm going to hit OK. Let's see how this fixes those hot pixels. If you've done this correctly, you should see those completely disappear, but no loss of detail whatsoever. So when I toggle this on and off, you'll see most of the brightest pixels just kind of get muddled in with the rest of the detail and pixels and texture that's around them. So we can kind of scroll up here. We know that we had a really bright purple one somewhere around here. Zoom out a little bit. There it is. Let's see if that one's taken care of. And that one's gone too. Now, if you do plan on using the same frames for your sky, you will need to mask this out, because watch what happens to the stars. According to Photoshop, there is no discretion between a star and a hot pixel. It doesn't know the difference. They're just bright pixels. So you need to mask it out so that it doesn't eat all your stars. But it does a great job for fixing those hot pixels. Hope that helps, guys. Thanks.